So tonight, you need some props, whatever you've got handy. I'll be using a block and a small bolster. So grab anything similar to that, a bunch of pillows or a rolled up blanket or towel. You may enjoy having a blanket for your knees a little later on. We will be on our knees quite a bit. So grab those things that you need and we'll get started. Just sitting down at first, focused on our breath. You can sit crisscross, or maybe you'd like to sit in fire log, stacking one leg on top of the other. Just root yourself down into your seat and sit up nice and tall, belly's engaged, shoulders relaxed. We'll take a mudra with our thumb and our forefinger and glue the other three fingers together and palms facing up towards the ceiling. Come into this moment and just notice how you feel. Notice the quality of your thoughts, where your mind is at as you've entered into this practice. Maybe noticing any sounds around your house, any distractions, and allowing yourself to acknowledge those things. Sometimes when we push those things away and we try not to recognize those distractions, our thoughts become a little bit obsessive. So know that it's okay to observe those things. Observe the sounds in your house. Observe the distractions. Observe where your mind is at. But then don't give it any more thought. Just notice that it's there and connect with your breath. Let's find that deep ujjayi breath. We'll do a little bit of breathing here tonight. Tuck your chin slightly and empty your lungs. And we'll slowly inhale for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just as slowly exhale it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and hold at the top. Three, 2, 1. Exhale. Inhale and hold. Exhale. Inhale and hold. Exhale. And hold at the bottom. 3, 2, 1. Inhale and hold. Exhale and hold. Inhale and hold. Exhale and hold. Inhale. Exhale and hold. Inhale. Exhale and hold. Inhale. Exhale and hold. Inhale, 3 full rounds of breath here. No pauses now between the inhales or exhales. Just notice how slow you can make that breath. Nice and easy. After that third breath, you can release your hands, blink your eyes open, maybe switch the cross in your legs now. We're here a little longer. We're going to do some neck rolls now. So you can bring your right ear over to your right shoulder and then begin going down, chin towards chest, and left ear over to the left shoulder. If it feels good, you're welcome to bring your head all back and make big circles with your neck. I prefer to keep my head in front of me and not go all the way back, so I just switch and go back and forth. You have about a minute or so here. So if anything feels a little stiff, you can stop, breathe into it, give it a little stretch so you can go as slow as you'd like. Again, observing maybe how you feel physically now, how your neck and shoulders are feeling. It's a common area to hold stress. So it might feel pretty tight, maybe even a little uncomfortable. Just try to find where you enjoy this stretch and breathe. And then we'll even out both sides. When you're ready, bring your head back into a neutral position. Next, we're going to look over our right shoulder. So you're sitting up nice and tall. You're not twisting anywhere but the cervical spine. Looking over the right shoulder. And then look up. Now take your eyes across the ceiling over to that left side, still looking up. And then we'll bring the gaze forward over the left shoulder. And then bring your chin down, still looking in the direction of your left shoulder. Then we'll bring chin to chest, looking across the floor as we bring our gaze over the right shoulder, but still chin tucked. And then lift your gaze. We're going to reverse that. So tuck the chin, now still looking towards the right. Chin towards the chest as you come across the floor over to that left shoulder. And then gaze comes over the left shoulder, neutral, and then up. Eyes across the ceiling, moving to that right side and over the right shoulder. And then just bring your gaze back forward. Bring your fingertips out, arms extended out off of your mat. So we're going to stretch into the neck some more. And if this is too intense, having your arms out, feel free to just bring those hands back to the knees instead. So we'll bring our left ear over to the left shoulder and hold here. So with the arm extended, you really feel a nice big stretch along the right side of the neck and into that shoulder even and down the arm. And then you can play around here with how you want the head positioned from there. So maybe bringing the chin up more towards the ceiling, maybe bringing the chin down more towards the chest, maybe moving back and forth between those two positions as you keep your left ear over to the left shoulder. Being mindful to relax the shoulders. Your shoulders are down the back. Don't start holding tension in the shoulders as you're stretching. So if you're feeling that tension, then maybe you just hold still here and breathe into it and try to release that tension until you find that really nice, relaxed stretch. We'll give it a few more breaths. Next, inhale, you can bring your head back up, and then we'll bring the right ear over to the right shoulder. Just a nice big stretch along the left side of your neck and down that arm. And then if you'd like, and if you did on the other side, maybe playing around with what feels good. Chin up or chin down, or maybe moving back and forth between the two. Noting any differences between one side or the other. One side might have felt really nice doing this. One side might feel really tight and tense doing this. Just work with your breath. Always work with your breath. Work with your body and give yourself what you need here in your practice. I'll get this a few more breaths. Next inhale, we'll bring our head back up. And exhale your hands to your knees. Let's take an inhale and reach the arms up tall. Exhale, eagle arms. Right arm is going to come under the left. Cross your elbows and your wrists, palms touch, thumbs towards you. If you can't get that much of your arms crossed, then just grab opposite shoulders, but keep that right arm under the left. And then we'll lift the elbows up, feeling that nice stretch between the shoulder blades. Breathe into it. One more inhale. And then we'll tuck our chin to our chest, pull the elbows down and round yourself forward. Big stretch along the back here. Next inhale is going to bring us out of it, reaching our arms up tall again. And then exhale the left arm under the way, or just have opposite shoulders. Keep that left arm under, and then we'll raise our elbows up. Drop the shoulders down. And then we'll tuck the chin. Round yourself forward. So pull the belly in, bring your elbows in towards the belly. Next inhale will bring us out, reaching the arms back up again. This time we'll exhale into a twist on the right side, right arm behind you to help you sit up. Look over that right shoulder. Stay in your twist. Inhale, lengthen, nice and tall here. And then on your exhale, just bring your gaze over your left shoulder. Keeping the right shoulder back, collarbones broad here. And then we'll inhale back to center, reach up. Exhale, twist to the left, looking back over that left shoulder now. Pulling the left shoulder back, making sure both shoulders are slid down the back. Inhale, nice and tall, lifting the chest, and then exhale, gaze over that right shoulder. Pull the shoulder blades back towards one another behind you. And then we'll inhale back to center, reach up. Exhale, come forward and into child's pose. So sitting back on the heels, bring your knees out wide so you can reach forward, bringing your chest down towards the mat and allowing your forehead to touch the mat. So maybe to get your forehead to the mat, your hips have to lift away from your heels, which is totally fine. You want to focus on lengthening your spine, keeping your belly tight. Feel that stretch in the hips as you try to sink the hips towards the heels. Few more deep breaths here. Press yourself up into tabletop position for some cat-cow. Make sure your hands are slightly rotated outward, hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. On your inhale, drop your belly, tilt your pelvis forward, pull your chest forward, lifting it up, lifting gaze up. Exhale, push the ground away with your hands and knees. Pull your belly in, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, look towards your belly. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more with your own breath pace, really tuning into that body breath connection here. Nice fluid movement and breath, no pauses. After you've done those 3 rounds, meet with a neutral spine. Keep your hips stacked over your knees. Walk your hands out in front of you, coming down into puppy dog. So you'll bring your forehead to the mat, maybe even your chin to the mat if that feels okay, but you're extending your arms out nice and long. You're keeping the hips raised above the knees, pressing the chest towards the mat. Big stretch in your shoulders and your upper back. One more breath. On your next inhale, you can keep your forearms where they're at and come down onto your mat, onto your belly. Here's where you might like to have a bolster pillow, or you could roll up a blanket underneath you, underneath the lower ribs, setting up here in Sphinx with that support of your pillow or bolster. Your shoulders are right over your elbows and your legs are about hip width apart. And you can play around with where you'd like your gaze. It can be straightforward. Maybe it feels good to drop your head. And you can allow that head to be as heavy as you'd like. If you drop your head, you feel a nice stretch in the upper back. Nice deep breathing here. Try to pull the shoulders down away from the ears. We'll give this just a few more breaths. After those few breaths, setting up for our next posture, you'll take your left forearm parallel to the top of your mat. And you're going to bend your right knee and reach back with your right hand for that foot. So if that's not accessible, you might like to use a yoga strap, or if you don't have a yoga strap, then a belt or even a belt from a robe is just as good. So once you have the grip around your foot, you're going to focus on really pushing your hip bones down into the mat, even your pubic bone down into the mat, and you're going to give that a kick. As you kick, it might pull your upper body up and back a bit. I want you to keep your knee, your leg down on the mat. So rather than, as we do sometimes in floor bow, we kick and we lift the knee up and we come into that teardrop shape, I want you to keep the leg planted and really focus on pushing your hip bones and pubic bone down into the mat. So you have a real big lengthening there in your right quad. Last couple breaths. Go ahead and release the right foot back down, and you can just stack your right forearm on top of your left, rest your head. Maybe noticing the difference between how that right leg feels compared to the left now. Maybe even the right shoulder compared to the left. And then we'll plant our right forearm so that it's parallel to the top of the mat. Reach back for our left foot, whether it's with your hand or your strap. If you're able to get it with your hand, you want to make sure all 5 fingers are glued together around that foot just below the toes. Push the hip bones down, pubic bone down, and begin to kick into that grip, noticing how much that kick may lift your torso up and back. Then you can keep your right forearm and elbow planted there for a little support, feeling that lengthening in the left quad. And our right leg stays glued down as well. Last couple breaths. Go ahead and release. Just stack the forearms and rest your forehead on top. Taking a couple breaths here. Then we'll press up and back into child's pose once more. You can move your pillow out of the way. Maybe noticing that it's a little easier getting into this child's pose now as we're starting to open the body, moving a little bit into it. Nice big inhale. And we'll come up to downward dog on the exhale. Tuck the toes, lift your hips. Once you're there, pedal out the heels if you'd like, wag the tail. Just working into the back of the legs. Slowly walk your hands back to meet your feet and we'll hang in ragdoll. So your feet should be hip width apart. And you can take a soft bend in the knees and just hang your upper body over your legs. You can grab opposite elbows here, just making the body a little heavier. Lifting through the hips, maybe swaying a little side to side. Feel the low back stretch. You can release the grip of your elbows. Slowly roll yourself up to standing. Once you're standing, maybe roll the shoulders back a few times. And we'll keep our feet hip width apart here for this little flow. You'll inhale, reach the arms up, reach through the sides of the torso, and then exhale, right arm will go down to the side and you'll reach up and over with the left arm coming into a side bend. And then inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, left arm comes down and we're reaching up and over to the left. Really bump the right hip out. And then inhale, back. Maybe a little back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Hug yourself behind your legs. Bend your knees and rest your chest on your thighs. And then we'll inhale through chair. So sink the hips, swipe those arms up. And exhale, come to standing. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend to the right. Bump that left hip out. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bend to the left, bump that right hip out. Inhale, back up, maybe even reaching back, little back bend. Exhale, fold forward, hug behind the legs. Head is hanging heavy. Inhale through chair. And exhale to mountain pose. We'll do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Exhale to the left. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale through chair. Exhale, mountain pose. We'll step forward with the right foot and drop our left knee to the mat. So we're coming into a low lunge. We'll come into a runner's lunge. So you can walk the right foot in front of you a bit if you need to. Send those hips forward. But I want you to keep your low belly tight and the tailbone tucked slightly. So rather than having that anterior tilt to the pelvis, tilting that pelvis forward and coming down, try to keep a more neutral position with the pelvis as you come down. Big stretch in those left hip flexors. We'll add a twist to this. So left hand will stay on the outside of that right knee and we'll reach back with the right arm. Looking back in that direction as well, keeping the belly tight. Now you can stay here or you can bring your left hand to the mat or to a block and reach that right arm up at 12 o'clock. You can stay here or you can bend the back leg and reach for that left foot with your right hand, or again, a strap if you'd like. Putting just a bit of a kick into that grip. Last couple breaths. Come out of the twist, plant both hands on either side of that front foot, tuck your back toes, and start to lift up. You're going to step that left foot forward a foot or two. So we just have a few feet between our heels, and maybe that back foot is out a little bit wide, and you want to make sure the left hip's bumped forward, right hip back. We're going to keep our hands down. So if you need a block or two here on either side of your foot, that's completely fine. And we want to flex that right foot. So a few options, few variations here. You can focus on having the leg straight. And in that case, maybe you need to modify with hands on a block or even your shin. Or you can straighten it as much as you can, but maybe there's a bend in the knee and we're focusing more on a flat back. Belly tight, reaching that chest forward. You decide which of those options feels best. We're trying to flex the foot. If you need to have the foot planted, That's okay. Maybe you're able to have the leg straight and the back flat. It's difficult for most of us. So just do what feels good. Which of those options feels best for you here in your practice tonight? Last couple breaths. We'll plant the right foot if it isn't already. Nice, strong back, belly tight, pushing equally into both feet to rise back up. Step the left foot forward and we'll step the right foot back. And we'll drop the back knee. Here's where you might like to have that blanket under your knees. So we are on our knees a little bit here with this set of postures. So come into your runner's lunge, being mindful of the pelvis. We'll take it into our twist. So right hand on that left knee, reaching back with the left arm. Opening the chest. Belly tight. Then maybe bringing your right hand down and tilting forward, reaching the left arm up at 12 o'clock. From there, maybe taking that back foot if you did on the other side. Once you have that grip, though, you still want to roll the left shoulder back, open the chest. Little kick into it. Last couple breaths. Good. Go ahead and come out of your twist. Hands plant, tuck the back toes, and then step that foot forward a bit, setting up now on this side to stretch that front leg. So you choose whether that leg stays straight, you focus on that, or if you focus your attention on keeping the spine straight. Plant the left foot if it isn't already. Step your right foot forward. Half lift here, straighten the spine. Exhale, fold. And then we'll inhale the left foot back, drop that knee, coming back into a low lunge. Here we're going to do a little bit of an exercise for our shoulders. So what you want to do is inhale your arms up, and then you're going to turn your arms so your palms face the walls on either side of you. They're facing away from you. Now we're going to take our right wrist and cross it in front of our left and try to bring the palms together. Then you'll start to bend the elbows and bring those arms back. Try not to puff the lower rib cage out. Bring it in and focus on that stretch of the shoulders. Now from here, once they're back as far as you can get them, try to keep them there as you re-straighten the elbows. Maybe you only re-straighten them just a bit, and that's okay. Maybe you can straighten them a little more. Straighten them as much as you can. Again, watch the lower ribs. Big inhale. And then exhale, bring your arms down. Tuck the back toes, step your right foot back, and then your left foot forward. Setting up now, low lunge on the other side. And you want to make sure your right knee and your left foot are on opposite sides of your mat here, so they're about hip width apart on the mat, nice and stable. Then you'll inhale your arms up, turn your hands to face out like a gymnast. And then we're taking our left wrist in front of our right, palms touch, and then start to bend the elbows, bring those arms back, and then watch the lower rib cage. Tighten the belly. Start to straighten the elbows back out as much as you can. Maybe they don't straighten all the way. It's totally fine. Everybody's still feeling that stretch in their shoulders. Breathe deeply. And release your arms down. Step back to downward dog again. Come down into child's pose. Slowly come back up. And we're going to finish up against the wall. So we don't need to be right up against a wall. And if you don't have a big space of wall, you can always just use some furniture. You could probably be just fine up against a couch tonight, too. So first we'll take our block and you'll come forward. We're going to take a supported bridge here. So you'll lift your hips and slide that block under your pelvis for support. And you decide how high you'd like the block to be. Usually that mid-level is just right. And you can lift your chest and bring the shoulder blades down the back. Few breaths here. And then you'll remove the block out from under you. We're going to bring our feet up to the wall. So we're at an angle here because we're not right up against the wall. Just relax the feet here to begin. Legs up the wall. Anytime we have our legs up above the heart, it helps to slow the heart rate, helps us to prepare for rest. Take your right foot and flex it back towards you, flexing those toes back towards your nose. Holding here for 3 big breaths. Then relax that right foot. Take a breath here. And then we'll flex the left toes back towards your nose. Hold it for 3 breaths. And then relax that foot. Let your feet sort of fall open against the wall. Feel your low back release down to the mat. The next posture we do here against the wall, you may like to have a pillow or bolster under your head. If not, that's fine too. And whether you have a pillow or not, we'll cross our hands, place them behind the head under the neck for support there. So elbows are lifted up. And then you're going to bend your left leg and place your foot against the wall and cross your right ankle over that left knee. And you're going to turn your gaze to the left. Relax your hips down to the mat. Release the low back. Feel that rib cage expanding with your breath. Three more breaths. Good. Let's switch and bring our right foot to the wall. Left ankle crosses over it. And then we're going to be looking to the right. So if you're just using a couch, you're just propping that right calf on the seat of your couch or chair, whatever you're using. Relax the hips and the low back. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, your eyes, your ears. Three more breaths. After that third breath, uncross your leg. Bring your pillow out from under you and just extend the legs long again, just for a few breaths, letting the feet fall open again. When you're ready, you're going to come into Shavasana so you can just slide a little ways away from the wall or rotate around on your mat so your head is towards the wall. But find Shavasana, settle into it, and then stay here as long as you'd like. Namaste. No class next Sunday. So I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.